this iBeasties or Beastless, whatever. This is the same dude. I'm pretty sure he hangs out with Elbu. He's the same dude who said Roman Reigns is like Hitler. He said that like has Hitler aura or whatever he's trying to say. This is the same guy, I believe, who gave a whole paragraph list of different Korn scenes and actors. He knows the exact scenes, and he's just super down bad. Tweets out a whole list of like Korn scenes. You guys know what I'm saying, right? To go watch and actresses and stuff. Yeah, and then he says this about Cardona. So he quote tweets Cardona. This guy, this iBeast, man, he's just in a race for the worst takes with Elbu. And
you just made the list.
Just made the list. So there you go, chat. Another one. Someone tally up the list of fools for me, please. Somebody. But anyways, he says, I truly believe I've changed the game, quoting Matt Cardona, which he did. He took after Cody Rhodes a bit, but he did change up the game, at least his game, and he helped bring value to a lot of indies like GCW. He helped a lot of houses, man. So anyways, he says, no, you haven't. You haven't made a dent on making the landscape of wrestling better. No one talks about Matt Cardona. No one thinks about Matt Cardona. What the bro? He posted that little trailer for the complete Matt Cardona and it got like millions of views, dude. What the are you talking about? No one thinks of Matt Cardona. The only time you get brought up is when Cena lips your on-screen girlfriend while you was in a wheelchair holding flowers. Of course, that's what you remember, you sick freak. Calling you a B-plus player would be generous. Shut your mouth and watch your wife on Friday nights. Like, first off, Cardona would beat the shit out of you. That's the very first thing this idiot needs to understand, right? In Minecraft, right? Cardona would pick this dude up with one hand by his neck and lift him up like a Kevin Hart movie, where his feet's dangling because The Rock picks him up or something, right? So, like, I wouldn't talk that much. Also, Cardona has made a dent. He has changed the landscape. He has helped a lot of these indies draw houses. He's the guy that Tony Khan is like, oh, like, we'll take him from GCW to Ricky Starks over and blah, blah, blah. Like, he's the guy they chose to do that. He's a guy that has been over just in whatever he's done, and for this guy to be like, no one's talking about you. He posted that complete Matt Cardona thing, got millions of views on it, more millions of views than Okada and got for their AEW debuts. And I can't wait till Cardona returns to WWE and absolutely shoves it down this guy's throat. No Diddy. I cannot wait for that for these wrestlers to prove Elbu and all these goofballs wrong, man, who just hate on them. They don't care about wrestling, bro. They just want McGraps. They don't care about wrestling. And Chelsea Green obliterates this goof. Chelsea Green obliterates him. She goes, the fact that you've got your panties in a knot about someone speaking highly of themselves, believing in themselves, and knowing their worth. Get your head out of your ass and realize he revolutionized professional wrestling by using social media. That alone changed the game. Put the keyboard down, go back upstairs to your mom and eat the dinner she cooked you. Don't make me embarrass you. Damn. And then Ryan Satin's like, don't make me embarrass you. Too late, LOL. And then, she's like, talk about my husband. Watch what happens. And then Satin, that little weasel. No. And then fucking Steph DeLander quote tweets, and she's like, shut the up, dog. I love that. Just shut up, dog. Good stuff. Good stuff. But yeah, just absolute heads here. Just what did Matt Cardona ever do? They're just mad that he went and talked to Ariel. That's all it is. Meanwhile, they don't get it. They're so dumb. They don't understand that Ariel has beef with UFC, which is half of TKO. Like, it's a beef that Dana White will never let go. Okay? He'll never let go of it. Meanwhile, he's like cool with WWE. So you got to understand there is a rift there. He's not trying to chill. It's not his fault that Tony Khan gave him a ass interview and then won't let anyone go on there other than people like MJF. And this is why Tony's in on MJF's work of like on everyone and blah, blah, blah. So he's like, okay, you can do it because it's like your thing that I'm in on, the whole no-show thing and calling him a mark. And that's all stuff Tony's been in on. So MJF can do it, but no one else can go on Ariel. Otherwise, he gets mad. Why? Because he had a bad interview. But now we're seeing people, indie wrestlers going on Ariel's show, WWE wrestlers. It's amazing. AEW people are more than welcome. It's not his fault Tony had an awkward interview with fucking Ariel, and then Ariel was like, this
Choked
guy's
on
a
his
goof.
water.
Yeah, dude, that was the cringiest ever. But,
yeah, it was super cringe.
this guy here, Official Kalal. So I don't know who this guy is, but he's been just going off lately,
God.
like spiraling. He's been popping up under everyone's feeds. We're almost done, Sickos, guys. I know it's a long one. I saved it up for Sicko Saturday, okay? And
Sicko Saturday,
dude, we're trying to keep it Sicko Saturday. You
That's
know what
smart.
I mean? Yeah,
you gotta try to keep the sickos in a pen where you can,
Yeah,
keep them over
and
there.
I tried to keep it like what's popping too, like with those big influencers. It's like that's a popping story. I'll talk about that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, but Official Kalal, he's like, this man is a liar. So here, let me get the liar here.
Liar!
This man's a liar.
Liar! Tell us what you know, you goddamn liar!
And this is in response to what Triple H said here with Ariel.
AEW, you couldn't beat him. We're going to punish it. Was that a real thing?
No.
Nonsense.
No, look, we do. People put so much pressure on all this competitive war.
See, Ariel doesn't ask questions. He just flat out asked Triple H, AEW beat you guys, and then they moved, and then Vince kicked you off. Is that true or not? He just asked him that. It's like the toughest question. And even if Triple H is lying, that's like the most straight up question. And these idiots don't know how Ariel got his job in BT Sport, or got his job with WWE. He was hired to cover UFC and do UFC stuff. Then UFC partnered with, I want to say ESPN or whatever it was, that is like a subsidiary of BT or however it's connected. And then UFC was working with them and were like, we don't want Ariel doing our, because they hate him so much. So legit, bro. So then BT was like, okay, we'll stick you with WWE. You got to start covering WWE. And all these sickos don't understand that's how he got there. It's not like they hired him to be the WWE guy. They just didn't know what else to do because the fucking UFC's like that guy. And then UFC WWE merged. And I'm sure Ariel still got a good connect with WWE. But as far as UFC, they hate him, bro. Dana White, he's banned from going to like the pressers to ask questions. And like they will not give him a pass because he stooged that Brock Lesnar return at UFC 200. Yeah. They're still bitter about that. Yeah, man.
Never was that.
And Nick Khan was his manager. And so Nick Khan in the WWE side is cool. He was his agent like way back in the day.
Yeah.
So they're cool on that side. But Tony Khan, because he gave him an awkward interview and people kept asking Ariel what that interview was stupid. And then Ariel was like, yeah, this interview was terrible. The guy gave me nothing. I'm trying to help promote his brand. I'm trying to get something. Like he asked to come on my show in the midst of all of this drama, and I'm not allowed to ask him any real questions. He just wants to plug his and tell me he can't say anything. Why the did you ask to come on my show? Meanwhile, he asked Triple H right here, yo, AEW you up and Vince kicked you off. Is that true? You know what I mean? That's the toughest question you could ask the guy. I don't get why these people just can't see it for objectively what it is. If he was softballing him, I'd call it out because Ariel is a weasel sometimes if you follow his MMA reporting. Sometimes he can be a little weaselly. If I was sensing weaselly Ariel, I'd call it out for sure, but it's just not that.
Look, first of all, they beat our developmental system. Good for them.
They beat our developmental. Good for them.
It's one of my favorite Triple H lines.
Yeah, bro, that's pretty funny. I'm going to save that clip because I want it for the WWE theme for the Monday nights. But anyway, he goes, this man's a liar. Yes, you, Triple H, you're doing everything and anything to try and undermine AEW. Yes. Why would he admit that his competition whooped his ass? It's competition. What are you talking about, man? He's not a stan like you. But guess what? It's not going to happen. AEW has been crushing WWE in terms of content. That is objectively false. And by all standards, match, story, segments, promos, batches of young names, etc. in the last 5 years, facts. No, I could debate you, Official Kalal. You could come here. I could debate you on that easily. Thanks. Any way you want to break it down. WWE has been in development for 60 years now. If WWE was a 5-year company, guess what? And if it was presented the same content it presents as of now, it wouldn't even achieve TNA's numbers or NXT. Facts. All right. And WWE is petty in trying to limit AEW from arenas, which is illegal if AEW were to take them to court. Fun fact. He keeps saying facts, but he has absolutely zero facts. It's so cute. WWE is scared of AEW. Yeah. They have to pay wrestlers more money because of AEW, not because they want to. Yeah, not because of their billion-dollar deals they've secured, because of the talent they've been rocking with for the last half a decade plus. That's not why either that they're getting paid more, right? Because there's a wrestling boom and more money's being drawn, huh? It's only because AEW exists. That's such because now people are taking less money than AEW to go to WWE because now they know. Now they know. Do you think Penta was getting more in AEW? Even Tony Khan said it. He offered Jade significantly more. Jade tried to let him down easy and go,
Yeah.
oh no, they offered me more. Like they offered me the same or a little more. So I'm just going to go with WWE. And then Tony came back and he admitted this publicly. We covered it here on the show a long time ago.
Scrum.
Yeah, he's like, I offered her significantly more, and I thought I for surely had it locked in because she was trying to let you down easy, Tony. She was trying to say it's about the money kind of thing, but really it's not that. It's what she can get from WWE and where she visions her career going and what they can offer her that you can't, right? And so that's what Penta probably was getting paid more in AEW. I'm willing to guarantee that, but he'll take less. And then once those merch checks hit, doggy,
yeah. Jade tried to give him the "it's not you, it's me," but no, it was you. That's what she tried. She tried to be nice, and he just did because he's a creep and he couldn't take it.
And then when those Penta merch checks clear, though, too, dude,
this is a fucking mask was the number one seller of the week.
Yeah, bro. So all I'm saying is that's what WWE can offer, and then the platform. All of that, and these wrestlers for sure, like Ricky Starks, I promise would take less money just to get to WWE right now. I guarantee Phoenix would do the same thing. Motor City Machine Guns, all the dirt sheets said what? Well, it's a shoo-in. They're going to AEW. They just offered them more money. Okay, well, they didn't want more money. Machine Guns looked at, how are we going to leave our lasting imprint in the pro wrestling business? We got to be a part of NXT. We got to be a part of the tag division now, have our last run here in WWE.
And then they get to go to be NXT coaches. It's perfect.
Yeah, and they should be because they innovated. So many wrestlers copied their for decades, for like the last 2 decades. So many wrestlers have copied a bunch of they did, especially when it comes to tag. So it's like it just makes perfect sense. And people will take less money to know that the legend status, and it's more money in the long run, bro.
Yeah, it's like it's the guaranteed minimum is less, but it's like you can make so much more with the WWE. The more you put in, and the more it works out.
Yeah, so it's none of what this guy says is facts, and he's just like, none of these stars would be getting high bank money. It's only because AEW is competition. Many wrestlers have jobs and support their families and a new home. So it's funny because it's like, well, all those wrestlers that WWE has to pay more, they'd all be jobless bums with no homes. But over in AEW, people have new families and homes, and it's so good. Isn't it good that he's paying these wrestlers here, but WWE for paying these other wrestlers so much money? That's literally what this guy's saying, man. And it's so stupid. And no wrestlers like this. They don't get behind this. I'm telling you a fact. They don't get behind idiots who say stuff like that. AEW Defender says, if you had the power to end an AEW story, which one would you choose? I quote tweeted it, and I was like, these aren't stories other than the MJF versus Jarrett one. And that would be the one I'd end because I don't want to see sickos pretend to like Taylor Swift after comparing her to WWE and calling them both McDonald's. Huh. Why am I saying that again? Weird. MJ from NJ responds to this Soul Step guy who responds to Skytel. This guy says,
Skytel.
TK should just release Starks, Phoenix, Miro, Black, and anybody else that's heart isn't about growing I'm dyslexic, it's the company they work for. That heart isn't in it or what? Yeah. And then this guy goes, I actually agree with this. Flood the market. Put WWE in the position to have a bloated roster. You'll end up with, they already have a bloated roster, brother. That's they're already in that position. You'll end up with a lot of current WWE wrestlers not happy with being unused or just stuck in catering hell. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but why do you want that for people? I thought it's about supporting all wrestlers and all this and homes for the wrestlers and jobs. Now it's, I hope they're in catering hell. It's so stupid, man.
Funny how that works.
Yeah, exactly. Good for me, not for thee, right, Jake? You know that.
Yep.
So I'm just trying to breeze through these last ones here because I want to get out of these sickos, man. We got to do something fun. This is just getting depressing here.
Right.
The lead-in
to get at you.
Yeah, so I wrote the lead-in game is being played again, and I'm not trying to diminish Kenny, but 831,000 viewers for Kenny versus Brian Cage. However, like 120,000 or 130,000 people tuned out during the match. So it's like, what does that? I don't want to diminish Kenny, but that's because of the lead-in, bro, and that's like an old trife conversation. And then Elboo's like, well.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, Kenny's not a draw, because then what you're highlighting by doing this is look at all the people that just dropped off the face of the earth during the Omega cage match. And that's like a knock on him, kind of. Don't worry about that. Just focus on, wow, that was a quality match. Maybe Tony shouldn't have had a run-in after it when there was 10 million other run-ins. Because that was a really good TV match. And that's what we should be focused on, especially if you guys want to just talk about the best wrestling. But exactly, when the ratings look like, when you can skew them and say, oh, look, they had 831. When you can do that, then you guys want to flex ratings. But then when you can't do that, no one wants to flex ratings. And this is why we got to call this out. I will never stop calling it out until they stop doing this, right? I'm down to stop talking about ratings. You guys first, though. Because you're the ones coping using them. I'm not using them to say WWE's better because this, right? You can just say more people are watching it, attendance is hotter. It is a factor, but it's like I can also break it down why the shows are better, etc. as well. So anyways, Ghostface Pepper says, legitimately curious how this guy feeds his family, responding to the veteran Jack Vaughn. He dropped a video. Let's watch it. The veteran Jack Vaughn says, indie wrestling versus professional wrestling, sunset flips.
Best.
Yeah, this is hilarious. Let's watch this clip here.
Indie wrestling versus professional wrestling.
Then he explains it.
Well, you see, that was just part of the spot that we came up with. I wasn't actually trying to win the match.
Oh, that makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
Slap my thigh.
Slap my thigh.
So good.
Shout out Jack Vaughn. Shout out OVW. And then this guy's like, legitimately curious how this guy feeds his family. And then Jack Vaughn goes, by not spending all my time crying about wrestling on Twitter. Bam, 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 bam. So AEW Defender says WWE fans are going far out of their way to avoid giving AEW any credit for Penta's star power. Meanwhile, AEW fans are upset Kenny Omega wasted this time introducing the trios titles with the Death Triangle rather than being Roman Reigns. And I quote tweeted it and said, Penta was a star before AEW would have been one with or without AEW and was always destined to be a WWE superstar. He was shelved and other luchadors were favored over him and his brother, two guys who were day one all elite. You don't know what you've got till it's gone, or some such. Boom. Over 100 likes. Nice. Didn't even notice that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was our overly long, too long of a Sickos segment.